there, Stampers. It's Linda Schmidt with Stampin' with the Hounds. Thanks for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I have been doing a fun fold series, and each I take a fold and I kind of show you different versions of how to do things. So what I've been kind of focusing on this month has been cards that kind of move, have some shaking, you know, they explode or whatever. So, and today we're not actually doing a card. We are going to be doing, because the holidays are coming right around the corner, we are going to make these little boxes. And the box is what they call an explosion box. And when you lift off the lid, your four sides pop out. And then this one is the smaller one that we'll be doing today, but I'm also going to show you a larger size, but I won't be making that one today just because it takes so long to do, but I will share the measurements and stuff for the larger one. So this is one, it's using a 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 sheet of cardstock, and then you're just basically cutting out those corners to make this little box to kind of fold up. And then what I've done is I've made little pockets on the opposite two sides to put my little sentiments. And then I'm also going to show you how to make this little gift card holder so that you can put a gift card in here. And then if you don't want to do a gift card, you certainly don't have to, but I'm just going to show you that little option as well. So this is one, and we are using the Seasons of Elegance Designer Series paper, as well as the Mercury Glass vellum. And this is an online exclusive, and then this paper, you get 4 different colors, and this is in the 2024 Stampin' Up! Holiday Mini. So we've got the kind of like the old olive, mossy meadow, and then kind of that basic beige, and then pretty peacock, kind of lost lagoon, and then a kind of a cherry cobbler. Yeah, I think it's real red a little bit, but on there. So, but anyway, so we're going to be doing using that paper as well today. And then you just fold it up. And again, I just kind of used some wild wheat from my cardstock, and then just pops back in. And then you've got your little lid. So you can really go to town on how much you want to decorate everything on it. But that's my very first one I did. And then I was playing around. Of course, you know me, I have to make lots of samples. So this one, I did the glimmer. This is actually, it's online only. And it is you get 3 sheets of the glimmer paper. I think it's called like 3 color glimmer. And so you've got that peacock, kind of the heather, and then it has kind of like this little peachy color. So that's what I kind of did on there. And then I also did one of the other designer series paper that is in the mini catalog. And that one, oh, where is it now? It's the one that my friend, when we were stamping last weekend, she was like, oh my gosh, Linda, that's like old lady paper. So I have to show her, you can do really cute things with, I actually think the paper is really pretty. Of course, now I can't find, oh, here it is. It's the Regal Winter on there. I just think that paper is beautiful, but, so I'm going to make sure I give her card using this paper just to show her. But I do think it looks, this is kind of that wild wheat, and this is with the pretty peacock. And then I did some of that glimmer for the ribbon. And then this is off actually from the Rustic Crate. It's the little poinsettias. And so on this one, I kind of decorated the lid again. And then I just kind of layered some other cardstock on there. So same concept. I've got my little tags with my sentiments stamped on them. And then you get, you know, I had like extra die cuts left over and some scraps, so I decorated it. You can decorate the inside panels if you want, or you can leave it just plain cardstock. And then again, I've got my little gift card holder, and I just did the little bird. And that one actually I think is from Sophisticated Sled, the bird on there. So I think that one turned out really pretty. I just like these colors together. The wild wheat. It was funny because it was a color that when it first came out, I'm like, oh my God, I hate that. But it's like one of my favorite colors now. And then another one that this is one we're going to be doing today, but I'm just changing the colors. So we are going to use a new set that I just got. And this again is in the mini catalog. And it's a bundle. There's like an embossing folder, there's dies, and Yeah. And then of course the paper, you know, that kind of coordinates with it, that Seasons of Elegance. And I was just looking for, oh yeah, here's the folder. We're not using the folder today, but there is a folder. So this is called that Peaceful Evergreens. And then there's the dies. And this is in this die, that's where I'm getting the bow pieces that I do here. It's from this die set. So these are the bow ties. That's the little tail, and then that's the little center part. So you got dies that cut out all of the pine trees. And then we're going to do a little Northern Lights kind of look on the top of it using that little swish part in there. And then I also kind of threw in a little bit of the one-of-a-kind die. It's like one of my favorite little snowflake dies. And again, that's in that 2024 holiday mini catalog. So again, this one today, we're going to be doing a different color. We're going to do the Pretty Peacock instead of the Mossy Meadow. But this one, again, we're using that Mercury Glass vellum. And then I've got my little Northern Light kind of look on that circle, and using the dies from Marius Tree, and then also the Peaceful Evergreens. And so this one, then I kind of stamped my trees on the side. And then again, when you lift it up, again, I got my little gift card holder. I put my little snowflakes on there. This is some of that new textured metallic gold and silver paper that's an online exclusive. And then again on here, I did my pockets with the vellum. And then my tags, I did a little bit of that Northern Light look again to it. And again, you can write on the back then on there. But yeah, they're pretty they're pretty addictive. My sister, actually, if you were in my Facebook group page, she's been like an assembly machine. She made a ton of these boxes the other day when she had the day off for Veterans Day. So anyway, super fun. And again, you can do, this is again a smaller version. The other one that I will just put instructions on how to assemble or to cut these. These are the larger ones. These are the ones that are using 12 by 12 cardstock. And again, you can do it just as one layer, but on these, I'm doing them, there's 3 layers. So when it comes out, like this would be a good one to do with photos and scrapbooking. Because you've got all these different layers that you can decorate as you like. You can add candy and, candy to them, little messages. You can do those hidden pockets again. But yeah, it's kind of a lot of, the decorating is endless on this one. But these are pretty fun. So again, that's a bigger one. But what I'm going to do is I will just put the measurements on how to make these bigger ones in my Facebook, Stampin' with the VIP Hound. So you'll want to make sure you check that out. And then if I try to remember, I'll put it in the description here for this video tutorial as well. Okay, so we are going to get started. Make some room here. So basically what you're doing, and again, this can be done for, that 12 by 12. So for the 12 by 12 one, the larger box, you're taking 3 sheets of paper. The outer layer would be 12 by 12. The middle layer is 11.5 by 11.5, and the inner layer is 11.11. All 3 of those pieces, you're going to score at 4 inches all the way around. So you're still getting this concept, kind of making that plus sign. And then the lid, and this you can kind of play around with, but I found that I kind of like the 1 inch flap, this part coming down versus that really wide one, which was like 1.5. But so to get that just 1 inch kind of lid or flap at 6 1/8 by 6 1/8. And again, you're going to score 1 inch all the way around on that. And then all of this, when I do the smaller one, the cutting is the same thing, but I will put, like I said, I'll put these measurements and stuff in my Facebook group page, as well as I'll try and remember to put them here in the descriptions. But for the small one that we're going to do today, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that, again, is going to be cut. It's 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. And we're going to score 2 3/4 all the way around. Otherwise, you can do 2 3/4 and then 5 1/2, and then rotate it and do the same thing. Okay. Then your lid is going to be 4 1/2 by 4 1/2, and we're going to score 3/4 of an inch all the way around. If you want to make the gift card holder for the inside, that piece is 3 1/2 by 4, And we'll go over the measurements. And then for the designer series paper, it all depends on what you all want to decorate. So I, of course, like to decorate, you know, all 4 sides, plus the top, plus, you know, the inside of the lid. And then I also like to decorate all 4 sides, plus make my pocket in that center. So, you know, again, you can just however many you want, but these are all going to be, except for the lid. I think the lid is a little bit larger here. But for the, let's see here. I just want to make sure I've got all these missed. Okay, here we go. For my panels, so these are going to be for the outside of the box and the inside. I'm going to do 9 of them, and they're 2.5 by 2.5. And I'm just using that pretty peacock of the Seasons of Elegance designer series paper. So got 9 of those. And then for my lid, which kind of like on this one, I did this, the top, and that's what I'm calling the inside for the lid. And again, that's optional. You don't have to decorate it, but you're going to do 2 of those, and they're a little bit bigger. Those are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And again, I'm using that Mercury Glass vellum. So just set that aside. And then for the pockets, these are going to be a little bit smaller just because you are going to cut it diagonally in half once those pieces are folded in. So these squares, you need 2 of them, and you'll have a piece left over. But these are going to be 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. And again, we're going to cut these diagonally in half to make those pockets. And then the other thing that you want, if you want to do the little gift tags, I actually took the gift tag from the Merriest Tree dies. So it's this one, and it is too long, but it's the exact width. And then I just cut off the bottom part of it. But if you have a punch, you know, that is going to be wide enough for that, you can certainly do a punch. Or you can just make your own, you know, tag just by cutting it, you know, the angles and stuff. But basically your width needs to be, I think it was 2. Yeah, the width of it has to be 2 1/4. And then the length is 2 3/8, because you can't go too much bigger because it won't fit in the pocket on there. So you'll need 2 of those if you decide to do the pockets. And I think that's the pieces. And then, of course, everything you want for decorating and stuff. But we're going to I'll get going on the scoring here. So I'm just going to get all these pieces out of the way. So we need 3 of these. Okay. So we'll start with the box first. And again, our box was 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. And we're going to score at 2 3/4. Now, you can just do the 2 3/4 and then just keep rotating it, you know, around, you know, 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 2 3/4, you know, do that. But you can also do 2 3/4 and 5 1/2, and then rotate it once, and then do the same thing. 2 3/4. So it's going to be that 2 3/4, and then 5 1/2 is the other way of doing it. So 2 3/4, and then we're going to do that 5 1/2. Okay, so you're going to have 9, you know, little squares. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut out these squares, the outside one, so that we're going to get that little plus sign. Okay, so we're just going to set this aside. I'll do the cutting once we get all the scoring done. All right, and then our lid, this one was 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. We're going to score at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. So you're just going to score 3/4 of an inch, and then just rotate it. Score at 3/4 of an inch, and rotate. 3/4 of an inch and rotate, and 3/4 of an inch and rotate. And again, we're going to snip those sides. And then for our gift card holder, this again was 3 1/2 by 4. On the 4-inch side, we're going to do all of these score lines. So we're going to do a 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 2 inches, 2 3/4, and 3 1/2 on that. Okay, so we'll set that aside for now. Okay, I think that's all the scoring. All right, now we're going to do the cutting. So if you want to make the envelopes, you're going to, instead of cutting off the 4 corners, we're going to cut a little bit, we're going to cut at an angle. So instead of doing all 4 corners being cut out, we're going to do a little angling on here. So what you want to do is we're always going to be cutting these 2, the perpendicular ones, okay? And then we're going to, once these are then, you got that flap, then you're going to cut these triangles off so that you get this look at the top. And then when these fold in, of course this one isn't cut off, but when those fold in, then you're getting that little envelope pocket, okay? So our first thing we're going to do is we're going to make those cuts perpendicular. All right, so on your paper trimmer, we're going to cut from here to here and stop. So again, on your paper trimmer, a lot of times you've got a little line on your paper trimmer, and that's telling you where your blade is. So again, I'm going to put my score line right into my cutting track, and I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to stop at that score line. And then I'm going to, you can flip it around, but otherwise I would just bring it down, but so you guys can see what I'm doing. So now this is the opposite side. And again, I'm just going to come down to that score line. So now you've got a cut and a cut. And we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. So again, put this score line right in that cutting. Come down to the score line. And again, normally I would just bring this up, but I don't know if I can get into the camera. Oh, there we go. I can get it. Just move some things out of the way. Make sure I'm in the cutting blade. And then we're going to bring that up. All right, so now we have our cut and our cut. So now we want to make those pockets. So to make the pockets, we're going to take these outside corners and we're going to cut diagonally so that they come off. So we're going to turn this so that our corner is in the cutting groove and the other score line is in that cutting groove so that we can cut diagonally. And then these you can just save and use for another project. Okay, so we're going to do that on all 4 sides. So make sure you're lined up in your cutting track. So you're cutting diagonally. Then we got that little triangle that comes off. And then rotate it. And same thing. And the last one. Okay, so now you have like a little stop sign, kind of. These are going to come in. So everything is going to be basically valley folds to make your cube. Okay, so that's the base of the box. Let's go ahead and cut our lid since we've got our paper trimmer out. So again, this was at 4.5 by 4.5. We scored at 3/4 of an inch all the way around. Now on this one, we're only going to cut here, then we rotate, cut, rotate, cut once, rotate, cut once. Okay. So we're just going to put it in. And we're only going to go down that 1/2 inch. We're going to rotate, put that score line in the cutting blade, cut down to the next score line, rotate, cut down to the score line, and the last one, rotate, and cut down to the score line. All right, And that, I believe, is all the cutting. All right, since we have the lid, I'm going to show you how to assemble the lid first. So now on the lid, I do like to basically make kind of like a little dart, just so that when you go to fold this together, you're not going to have like an overhang. So all I'm going to do is I am just going to, on this flap part, I'm going to cut at an angle so that I'm removing this little piece. And so now my flap, when I go to put my box together, it's not overhanging on the edge. Okay, so you're going to do that on each one of these little flaps. So you're going to have where the flap is, you're going to then make that little dart on the flap, not the longer section. You're just cutting on this little side, just to get that little dart taken out. So same thing here, you're cutting on the flap, not the long piece, and just cut at an angle just to get that off. Okay. Then once that's all started, then you're going to go ahead and just fold on all these score lines. So this is basically the inside of the lid. So we're just going to do the valley folds on all of these, or mountain folds, I should say. All right, so now here's our top. So all of these then will get tucked under, like so. And you get our little lid. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue. So again, the tabs are what are going to be on the inside. So we're going to put glue, and I would recommend using a strong glue. So I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glue. And before I do this, I do want to put my layers on, because I did find that it was easier to put my layers before I assembled the box. I just need to find my box layers. All right, so these were 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 for that, and I just did the vellum. You can use whatever, whatever you want, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to, because then I'll decorate the top of my lid like we did on this one. We're going to do this one, that same kind of little Northern Lights look. But I did want this vellum underneath there. I just thought it was really pretty. And again, you don't have to do this. All right, and then we'll flip it over, and we're going to do, I like to decorate the inside lid as well, because I'm all about using up those scraps of designer series paper that we all have. Okay, so now this is the inside. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put glue on this flap, and then that is going to come in and adhere into the inside there. And I kind of like to take my tweezers and just kind of hold it in place while I'm doing the next one. So same thing, I'm going to put glue on the outside here, and then that folds up, and then I just kind of take my tweezers and just kind of give it a hold, keep it in place there. Okay, same thing, we're going to put glue on this tab, and then that tucks in. making sure your corners are aligned. And then the last one, again, we're going to put glue right on this inside tab. And then that is going to be attached. And then just kind of give it a little pinch just to make sure it's held in place. And that is the lid. Super fun, super easy. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll decorate that at the end. So now we're gonna go back to our box. So again, we're gonna fold on all of our score lines. And these are all just kind of coming in. Again, I did that pretty peacock for my base. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take our squares. We'll just kind of start decorating these. And so on my squares, I did 9 of them. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to work on my outside of my box. So for that, I do like to, what I've been kind of doing is, I'm going to do that on that side, and we'll do this one. We'll put opposite side. That's kind of dark. Let's see here, because I'm kind of looking at trying to get the same, this kind of painted look, I guess. Looks like it's dripping. Let me just see what the backs of these all look like. Okay, maybe let's do, oh, here, we'll do these two. So that's going to go there, and that's going to go there. And then on my other ones, I can do more of the gold. Let's see here. Do these. These will have a lot of gold on them. So do one there and one there. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and adhere those down. Yeah, I think the worst part of, you know, because there's so many pieces that you're cutting, is just getting everything cut. But then assembling them, I mean, like my sister, she cranked out, I don't know how many she did the other day. Oh my gosh. But yeah, they're kind of fun. I sometimes like to take a break from cards and do more of the anything but a card types of projects. Oh, and my lid, I did Lost Lagoon. So I did kind of do different colors. You can certainly keep them all the same color, or you can mix it up. It doesn't, you know, there's no rhyme. You do you. All right, so now those are, that's our outside of our box. We're gonna flip this over. So now we're working on the inside, and we're gonna make our pockets. Okay, so these are coming in like that. Okay, so what I like to do, and I need to make sure these were my ones for my pockets, because these were a little bit smaller, and then I had some scraps left over that we'll use. So those were 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, and we do need to cut these diagonally in half. So I'm going to do that really quick here. So since this is vellum, I'm going to cut both of these at the same time. So you're going to put it in so it's like a diamond. So you're cutting point to point, and I'm actually going to cut. I'm going to start cutting in the middle because sometimes like when you're cutting at an angle and if it's on that point, your blade will catch and you don't want to rip your paper. So I'm going to start in the middle, I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to go down. Okay. Then you do need to, on one of them, because you're going to have one left over, you're going to cut this one in half. So what I'm going to do is just put, let's see here, I want to be on this corner. So I want to make sure my point is in that cutting blade or in the cutting groove. And then again, I'm going to start on the flat side, and I'm just going to start kind of in the center and then kind of go up and down. So now I've got these other two pieces that were cut. So it's like 1.5. Because again, you're going to have this one left over that you can use for something else. Okay. I mean, otherwise you can put both of these down. You just, I mean, it's being covered up. That's why I cut it in half. So, all right. So you do need to put a very thin layer of adhesive right here just to hold this flap down. So, because if you go too crazy, then your tags won't fit in there. So you want to make sure that this glue that you put down, it's really thin. But before I do that, because I have been decorating my inside as well. So let's see. We were going to do, so then let's do here, here, and then I'm going to do this in the middle, and then I think we'll have this kind of showing on the background. So we're going to go ahead and adhere all of these. And again, this one, decorating it, is totally optional, you know, for the pot, when you're doing your pocket. I just wanted to see a little bit more paper behind it rather than the cardstock. And that's my center, so these. All right. So now we've got that down, we're going to put a very thin layer of glue here just to hold this piece in place. Then we're going to take, so this is where, like, how this one comes over. This is why I cut this one in half, because otherwise, you know, that would be covered up. So I was like, well, why am I covering up my vellum? So the full size one, you're going to put on this other one. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that now. And remember, on these, they were just a little bit smaller because we had to cut them in half. All right. Now, this one, again, we're going to put a very, you can do, basically it's going to be this kind of section that's going to have the glue. All right, and then this little triangle goes on the other little piece. And there's your little pocket. Cute. Love it. All right, let's do our other side. So again, we're gonna put a, let's see, I did it that way. Yeah, I'll flip it. Yep, okay, so this one's gonna go down. This one's gonna go down first. So we're gonna put our very small layer at the bottom just to hold that in place. And then we'll put our full-size triangle on the other flap. Okay, and then that is going to be glued down. And then we'll take our other smaller triangle and glue that on the other section. All right, so there is the box coming together. Fun. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the gift card, and we got to do our little tags, and we got to do our stamping. So let's do our gift card holder really quick here. So on the gift card holder, again, this was at 3.5 by 4, and we did our little score lines. So basically what is happening is these outer ones become these feet. And we do have to trim them at an angle just so that they fit in the box. So you're going to do basically kind of like a concertina, or like almost like a fan fold. So starting on that smaller one, you're just going to do, you know, like a valley fold. And then it's just like you're making a fan. You're just going to go back and forth, alternating. And then this comes back. Okay. Then we're going to take, so this is upside down. So when you, when the right side up is going to be the M, upside down is the W. Okay, so we're upside down. We're going to put adhesive, and I like to use the tear and tape on the 1/2-inch flaps here, because that's what's going to be held to the bottom of the box. And then to squish these two pieces together, you're going to put adhesive here and here as well. So basically the first two sections on either side get adhesive. So I like to do these second ones in, remove those so that this gets squished together. So you've got your little, whoops, sorry. There we go. You got your little Y or V. And then these feet are what are going to be attached then to the inside of the box. But if you notice, we need to trim, you know, those angles. So what I do is so I'm kind of working, here's my fold. I'm going to squish these together. I'm going to take my flaps And I'm just going to cut at an angle on these little 1 inch or a 1/2 inch sections. Just cut at an angle and cut at an angle up to that score line. So now you've got, when you look at it, you're going to have this little, there's our little V, and then these are the feet that get attached to in here. Okay, so we can go ahead and remove that adhesive. Do that on both sides. And again, those feet get attached, and you have to go at an angle. And again, you can, you know, do it either, however way you want to do it. That looks good. And we'll just fold that in. And so now you've got that little gift card holder for it to sit in there. And then, you know me, I like to decorate everything. So I had these little strips of vellum left over. So these are they were the same length as my gift card holder. So that was that, I think these are the ones. Oh no, these are for my other ones. These are for my tags. I did have, oh, here they are. I had some other ones. Oh, I thought I did. Where did I put those? Well, these I may have to just trim them. That's okay. So let's see. This needs to be 3 1/4. So we'll just trim these really quick. I thought I had my glitter paper, but I don't know what I didn't see it. All right, so we'll just cut these up really quick. These are just some scraps of gold paper I had floating around. So we'll just trim these to be 3 1/4. And it's about a 1/2 inch. Or no, I think it's like, what is this? 3/8 of an inch wide. And this is optional. You don't have to do this part. This is just Linda being Linda and all her fine details on everything. I can't do simple. All right. There. It just jazzes it up a little bit. Fun. Okay. And now let's kind of get our tags decorated, and we'll do our little stamping. While I have this, I think because I do have these already stamped and embossed and cut, I can go ahead and decorate these really quick. So again, I kind of like, again, decorating that little gift tag holder. So these little snowflakes are from the One of a Kind. This is like one of my favorite little stamp sets and dies from the mini catalog. But it's this little snowflake, and then I just die cut it out with one of our stylish shapes. And these I do like to put a little bit of a dimensional on these just to pop them up. And then we have to have a little bit of bling, so let's do a little rhinestone. I just had these floating around, so oops. We'll just put those on the center just to give it a little sparkle. All right, and then I just kind of keep it held up, and then I just kind of look at where my center is. So now I've got that decorated, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. And again, you don't have to do this part. This is just me decorating. All right, so now you've got your little gift card decorated. And then let's do our tags next. So we are going to do So again, these were 2 1/4 by 2 3/8 is kind of what your final size that you need these to be. And I am going to do kind of like a little bit of that Northern Lights kind of look to it. And we're going to do that little vellum strip and then add our ribbon and the little Northern Light or North Star. That's kind of what I was envisioning. All right, so for this, I am using the Swish Marks. I'm using this one, and this one from the Peaceful Evergreens stamp set. And we're going to do, I think my ink, I did, so in my original one, I did Lemon Lime Twist, which I think I probably will still do the same thing. So we're going to do a Pretty Peacock. Get this out of the way. And Lemon Lolly. And then I am going to grab, because I do like that Lemon Lime Twist, because it's got a little bit more of a pop to it. Where is my Lemon Lime Twist? Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to take and do the swish first. So that's going to be in the Pretty Peacock. And I'm just kind of, you know, stamping at the kind of the top. So we're going to do that on each one of these. Just keep that there. And then we're going to take, it's probably more of like the snow mound for the tree, but I'm going to use it as a swish. We're going to do that one in the Lemon Lime. And then this part I'm going to use, I'm calling these my stars, so I'm going to do that in Lemon Lolly. And then while I have this out, I want to do my top of my card, the box card. So that is going to be just a circle. And I've been stamping these on basic beige. So again, we're going to do that same swish in the peacock. I'm going to kind of do this at the bottom. And then our Lemon Lime Twist. And then the Lemon Lolly for our stars. Okay, so that's for the box lid. I'm going to set that aside for now. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp our sayings on these. I'm going to close these up. And I think since I did Pretty Peacock, I may end up doing, I think, Wild Wheat for my sayings. Just to kind of bring in that gold look. So we're gonna stamp, this is from that One of a Kind stamp set. It's Hope You Have the Merriest Season Ever. And then my other one is just a retired, this is my only one I could find that would fit in here. This is from a retired Christmas set from years ago. But I tend to keep a lot of my Christmas sentiments because I always, you know, you get tired of this, using the same ones over and over again. So we'll do Merry Christmas. Okay, so that's it on that. Oops, sorry, gosh. Take out the camera. Okay, and then we're going to add, I did do from my Merriest Trees, so that's the tag. It also has all that die set. This is kind of that little reinforcer die. So I just cut 2 of these, and these are in Lost Lagoon. So I'm just going to tape these. And then attach those before I put my ribbon in, just to give it a little bit more support. And again, you could just take a little scrap of paper and punch 2 holes in it and fold it in half. It'd be the same thing. This does have a little bit of like stitching going around the edge, which kind of complements the tag, because the tag has the stitching going around it as well. There we go. And then I like to, and this might need to be trimmed down. I think it will, because that gets to be a little too high. I'm going to cut this little scrap. Oh wait, here's one. Oh, I think that was from my other card. I'm just going to cut this in half really quick, just so that it can fit on the bottom better. And this, you know, again, this is optional. You don't have to do all this craziness that I do on my cards. That one's too short. Okay. Ugh, I can't pick up anything today. Okay, and then we can go ahead and do our ribbon. And then I also like to do, and this is from Merriest Tree as well. These are these little stars. So I thought I might as well put these in. They're so tiny. I probably should have put these on a sticker sheet when I die cut them. One will go there. And then let's add a little bling. Oops. Use up these rhinestones that are retired. Okay. And then let's add our ribbon. So I'm going to do, this is some of the metallic ribbons. This is that Pretty Peacock. It's in the annual catalog. Oh, and that's right. There is, so today, what is today? The 13th? Yeah, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Stampin' Up! Is having their, a sale. So it's like, everything from the, like, not everything, but I mean, items from the annual catalog. So there are, like, some of the ink pads, the ink refills, cardstock. There are some of the, like, you know, your blender pens, watercolor pencils, some of the bundles are going to be an extra, I think, what was it now, 10 or 20% off? I can't remember now. But yeah, so make sure I'll put a link to my website on there. But yeah, so if you need some items for Christmas shopping, now's the time to do it, because it's a good sale. And of course, I had just, you know, put in a big cardstock order the other, like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, dang it. Never fails. I miss out all the time. And we'll just trim our ribbon ends. All right, so I'm just doing like a little bookmark tassel on these. So you just kind of fold your ribbon in half. I might have gone a little too short there, but put the loop through the front of your tag, and then the tails get pushed through the loop, and then gently pull to tighten it. All right, so that's the tags. Trim those a little bit better. All right, then we'll just do a little bit of Wink of Stella, just because it is that Northern Lights. I just want that kind of sparkle going in there. Cute! Fun, fun, fun. So those are our little tags. So we can go ahead and put those in. All right, and then the other thing I wanted to do is we got to decorate our front of our little box here, and then also decorate the outside. So again, we had made our little Northern Lights, and I also want to show you the bow and putting the ribbon and stuff on there. So again, I made my Northern Lights, and I want to put my little star on here as well. And then I already did stamped and die cut all of my trees from the Peaceful Evergreens. And so what I had did is I took this stamp, and the first thing I did is I stamped it in Pretty Peacock, then I cleaned it, and then I stamped again in Soft Seafoam on top of it, just to kind of give it a little bit of that two-tone look and just to kind of fill in. So I did that on all of these, and then I just layered them onto another sheet of colored cardstock just to give it a little bit of stability on that. So this one we can go ahead and put our, because I'm going to pop this up a little bit, because I think I'm going to put this on a dimensional just to give it a little bit more height. And then we'll glue our circle down. So it's not quite centered because I'm having my tree, and I'm making room for my tree on here. So now this is all dimensional, so we're just gonna plop our tree down. And then from the Marius tree, I die cut my little star, and actually I did some gilded leafing on this. And I can't remember if I made this a sticker. I don't think I did. Okay, I couldn't remember if that one was a sticker or not. So we'll put a little dimensional on this one. Or no, I guess I really don't need a dimensional because it's going on top of that, yeah. So I just need a glue dot. I got too many things out, I can't. I feel like my desk is crowding in on me. There's too many things. Oh, okay. Glue dots. Put one there. Oh, that'd help if it would stick. There we go. And now I can add that dimensional on the back. Oops. There we go. Now you got that on there. And then let's add our little bit of glue on our northern star. Same thing, we'll do a little rhinestone on that one as well. And a little bit of Wink of Stella. There's our box lid. And then we want to do our bow. And so this bow is actually from this Peaceful Evergreen die set. So you got these pieces. I'm looking for my little square. Oh, I know I die cut it. Where did it go? Oh, shoot. Probably stuck on my sweater somewhere. Oh. Oh, where did it go? Well, shoot. Okay, I may have to go and die cut one. Or use a different color. Dang it. Well, all right, well, we'll deal with it later. Okay, so on these little pieces, I do like to kind of ribbon curl them because these are what become the bows. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh. Oh, Linda. It's right there. All right. So you're going to take and put glue. I found, especially with this glitter paper, sometimes just working with glue dots is going to be better. So you're going to take these little pieces, you're going to fold them in half and adhere those little, the center parts together. So there's one part of your bow. And then same thing, take a glue dot, or you can do liquid glue. Put it on one, fold this, and then these two pieces get attached onto each other. So again, we're going to do another, ooh, I want to order some glue dots. Getting low. So now these go on top. So there's your bow, and then your tail. And I think that's the end of my glue dots. Yes. Oh, I think these are my big ones. Tail. have to do some tear and tape. I don't know where I had another package over here. Always something. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit of tear and tape on here. Just because with this glitter paper, sometimes that liquid glue, it just takes a little bit longer for it to dry. So then this gets attached on top. And then a lot of times on this little mini square, I just do this one as a dimensional. And attach that into the center. So now you have your little paper bow. So cute. All right, so we are going to put that onto our lid. And I also like to grab my ribbon and wrap that around the box as well. Again, you don't have to, but so I just kind of pull this around and just see how much I need. Do a little bit of overlap. And then depending on my ribbon, like this is pretty fine. I just do, you know, a little bit of adhesive. We're going to start our ends because our bow is going to go on the front here. I just put a little bit on here just to hold it in place. And I just do a little bit. Another good way of using up that ribbon that we all have laying around. All right, and then now this meets at the front. And then trim any excess off that you need to. And then that will cover up my ribbon end. So again, I'm going to use some glue dots on that. And I've got, I don't know where I got these. These are like really monster big glue dots, but they're going to do the trick. Because that's all I got. So these are the, whoops, the front of our box. There's those ribbon ends. So we're just going to place that right over those ends, covers up where that was meeting. And then again, if the, because this glitter paper doesn't curl as well as cardstock, but I do like just to give it a little bit of movement there. All right, so there is our lid. And then the final thing we want to do is to put our two sets of trees that we had for our, so it's coming together like so. So then I'm going to put these trees on the non-sparkle side, or the non-metallic, you know, where that gold was, just to give these a little bit of oomph. And I always kind of put my lid on just so that I know how far, you know, up or down that I need to, I can put my whatever stamped image you're doing here, so it's not covered up by the lid. will be on the opposite side. And again, I did that same thing where I stamped it first in the Pretty Peacock, and then I kind of did another stamp on top of it in soft sea foam, just to kind of give it a little bit of depth. All right, so there's the inside with our little tags and our pockets, our little gift card holder, and then all 4 of these will fold up, and we've got our sides all decorated. And then our lid goes right on top. And there you have an adorable little explosion box. Cute, cute, cute. I love it. Anyway, I will get together, hopefully this weekend I'll have some time, but I'll put the directions for this one as well as the larger ones and the different measurements for those, and kind of like my little, you know, I'll do pictures of my templates that I always do on there. So anyway, thanks for watching. That is the explosion box with the merriest trees and the peaceful evergreens and the Seasons of Elegance Designer Series paper. So I would love to see your creations. Like I said, my sister went to town making these the other day, so they are fun to do. Anyway, thanks again for watching. If you have cards, folds, or techniques that you want to learn, shoot me a message, or just, you know, put a comment down below, and because I will take the challenge. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Have a great and creative day. Bye-bye.